There was a backline that, by the end of Overwatch 1, was the bread and butter for most successful teams. That backline was Brig Zen, and was used in ball compositions, which made for some of the most engaging and high-level Overwatch in the history of the game. With the arrival of 5v5, ball compositions became less consistent and less popular. Here though, at the WDG LAN in Seoul, where Asian teams are competing for a chance to attend the LAN at Stockholm, Poker Face brought Brig Zen back against Team Falcons, the strongest team in Korea. Team Falcons took the first map, so it's Poker Face's pick, and they go with New Queen Street. If there's a solid map for ball compositions in Overwatch 2, this is it. It's easy to take advantage of the numerous flank angles and outmaneuver an opponent. Poker Face are going to bet on ball. Poker Face began with a classic ball composition, ball plus tracer and brig plus zen. In the hit scan slot, Proud is on Widowmaker, and this is the interesting factor. Yes, Widowmaker is vulnerable to dives, but Poker Face understand that. This is a high-risk, high-reward strategy where Proud will act as the bait. Proud's Widowmaker forces Falcons to divert resources to him, creating opportunities for the rest of Poker Face. This ball composition's macro organization is similar to some Winston compositions we've looked at in the past. This composition is split up into a core and a frontline. The core consists of Widow, Zen, and Brig in this case, and the frontline consists of Tracer and Ball. Think of the core and the frontline as two different teams that operate independently, but still need to have some synergy between each other. The core support each other, the Brig acting as glue, while the frontline focuses on attacking the opposing backline. Falcon's composition, on the other hand, is strange. It's a ball composition with Tracer Sombra. They're expecting the Widowmaker and want to attempt to shut it down early on. Falcons also have Fielder on Alari, which is an interesting choice alongside Juno. Juno doesn't do a great job at keeping her other support alive, and Alari struggles against dive compositions, so the Poker Face frontline will need to take advantage of this potential weakness. Both teams make their way towards the center of the map, and the first fight will get started relatively quickly. Proper spots Proud early on, pinging him to notify the rest of Falcons. Proper doesn't wait for Smurf to hit though, he believes he can obtain the kill on his own at this moment, so he uncloaks. Immediately, Proper is thrown completely off as Bellisria rolls right through him. Bellisria had done a 180 to return to Proud, and in this case, it might have been because Bellisria expected an early attack onto Proud. If so, that's pretty insane foresight, it's just hard to tell in this case. Proper almost instantly dies before he has a chance to TP away, granting Poker Face a very early fight win. If you didn't notice already, Poker Face's core have made a deliberate rotation towards the Mega Room, which is located opposite of the bot. Most of the time you'll see teams rotate directly towards the bot or onto the coast high ground near the bot. In this case though, Poker Face want their backline in a secure position that will be difficult to attack from the side of Falcons. Poker Face expected a dive mirror, so rotating into an enclosed space early makes them more difficult to dive and allows Fixit on Brig to easier defend Simple and Proud against an opposing ball composition. Poker Face now press their advantage from the Mega Room, forcing Fielder to attempt the retreat. Bellisria sees the opportunity, placing pressure onto Fielder, preventing him from completely escaping. This provides Proud with an opportunity to finish this kill, and now Falcons must wait even longer before taking a fight at full strength. Smurf unfortunately manages to make things even worse for Falcons. After completely missing his first chance due to the poorly timed uncloak from Proper and dueling Choice A1 in the backline, Smurf goes for his first effective hit, and you can also call that a dive, after Fielder had already died, and with Falcons down too. This results in Smurf dying extremely late in unnecessary fashion without obtaining much value from the hit, leaving Falcons more staggered than they already were. For this next fight, Poker Face will start out by setting their core on the raised walkway. When the bot advances to the corner, the core will rotate right back through the Mega Room to maintain LOS, line of sight. Any hits that the frontline go for must be made within Simple and Proud's LOS, otherwise they're a waste of resources, so Poker Face will sometimes have to reposition their core to allow Simple in particular to rotate to keep Discord Orb in play. Keep this fundamental concept in mind throughout this video, and remember that Bellisria and Choice A1 are limited to dives within certain areas under most circumstances based on the core's position. Another interesting note is the matchup against Sombra. One strategy that is often used against Sombra is called spy checking. To remove the Sombra from invis, you only need to hit her once with any amount of damage. This means that you can spray certain areas to check for Sombra, which is easier than you might think because Sombra players only have so many ways that they can set up for any given fight, so you can kind of predict where they're going to be. In this case, Proud checks for Sombra, and then goes back to scope, and upon checking a second time, is able to reveal Proper and force him to TP away. A few moments pass though, and now it's time for Falcons to make their move. Like I mentioned before, Proud on Widowmaker is the bait. The problem when playing against a half-decent Widowmaker is that you cannot ignore said Widowmaker, and that's why she can be frustrating to play against. Falcons almost always have to go for Proud first, they don't have much of a choice. Proud walks out on a bit of a wider angle, separating himself only slightly from his core. In this moment, Smurf and Stalker engage and attempt to cut him off, while Proper appears from behind. Fixa and Simple respond quickly, with Simple providing Proud with Harmony Orb, and Fixa proccing Inspire with Whipshot onto Smurf, as well as giving Proud a pack. Fixa uses his shield to assist Proud the rest of the way out. Simultaneously, Bellisria spots an opportunity, realizing Fielder has been left completely alone. Although this is outside the LOS of his core, he knows that alongside Choice A1, this would be an easy kill. Fielder quickly falls, and Poker Face are now up one. If you were wondering where Chio is, he's supporting the front line directly, so he really wouldn't have had a chance to assist Fielder anyways. This composition is just strange to me. It really does leave Fielder to attempt to survive against a Ball Tracer on his own, which just feels greedy. Back to the core, Team Falcons aren't giving up just yet. They advance into the Mega Room, and Fixa is quickly overwhelmed, acting as a sacrifice to allow Simple and Proud to escape. The two set up a crossfire, Simple on the left and Proud on the right, so Falcons will need to choose between one or the other. Without a brig to protect them, they're better off playing different positions, so Falcons cannot win the fight with one easy hit. They have to choose which one they're going to pressure. Okay, this moment is kind of funny. Falcons are completely disjointed. First, Stalker's recall's forced in an awkward moment, so he won't be able to participate in this next hit. Smurf is spinning on the bot, and although it's a bit confusing as to why he's doing this, I would assume he is waiting for either Stalker or Proper to be ready to engage. This provides time for Simple to chunk down Smurf's HP with Discord Orb. Proper attempts to get into position to pressure Proud, but Bellisria knocks him out of invis with a boop. The only explanation for how Bellisria knew is that Proper was revealed for a split second while crossing open space, and Bellisria just happened to notice and react in time. In the same moment, Stalker desperately returns with a triple blink onto Proud, with Proud landing a casual headshot, quite unconcerned. Smurf also explodes, and this fight ends with yet another victory for Poker Face, who also obtained the checkpoint, making excellent time. Yes, things manage to get worse. Proud grapples up to look for Pix at a spawn, and he just so happens to find Fielder in his natural habitat, standing still in spawn, clearly fed up with Smurf and likely flaming him. Proud puts him out of his misery, and then hits the goob shot onto Stalker because this may as well be a Tomathan video at this point. There is nothing to analyze. Just a reminder that Team Falcons won the whole Asia circuit exactly 1 week after this match, so this is essentially the best team in the world right now. Falcons take a moment to regroup and begin to advance. Poker Face used this opportunity to hit early. They can take this fight with aggression as they have ultimates available. Bellisria hits Proper, also dropping the mines, with Simple securing the kill. This moment shows just how powerful ball hits can be when combined with the damage output of Zenyatta. This hit also leaves Fielder stranded, now on Brig, so Choice A1 lands the pulse, finishing him off. Chio uses Orbital Ray alongside Smurf's hit onto Simple, but the fight has already been decided by Poker Face. Simple does use the Transcendence to assure his own survival, but Proud ends up getting caught by Smurf in the cleanup. This provides Falcons with the chance to take a 4v5 going into final fight territory. Going into next, Bellisria does look for a chance to hit, but isn't provided with an easy opportunity from Falcons. Proper also swings out and lands a definitive headshot onto Choice of 1, so Poker Face, who are down 2 players, decide to retreat. Proud also makes a swap over to Cassidy, and this is actually really well advised. Poker Face got the value they needed out of the high-risk, high-reward Widow variant of the ball composition, so from now on, they want to play it safe and hold on to their 121-meter lead that they've gained. Falcons may have fallen over at the start of this map, but Poker Face are not unwise as to underestimate them. This matchup is now pretty similar, with a slight deviation of a Juno for Falcons rather than Zenyatta. Generally, the Zenyatta is going to be a bit more useful here, as you can apply more pressure onto the opposing ball and follow up on frontline hits with real damage. Juno does have the advantage of utility and healing output, but her Nerf gun isn't all that useful when attempting to finish kills during fast hits where burst damage makes all of the difference. Poker Face start this fight with a rotation out to coast. This matchup is actually quite different now because Team Falcon's current version of the ball composition is more brawl-oriented with a Brig Juno Cass core. With that in mind, it would be unwise to immediately rotate into Mega Room and attempt to win the brawl matchup. Instead, Poker Face will play off of their ranged pressure advantage with Zenyatta and keep him further away out of reach of Falcon's core. Proud advances and Fixa moves forward to defend him, taking the brunt of a hit from Smurf. Fixa was able to survive with Rally, and Poker Face Face advance. Smurf once again falls to choice of 1 after the hit, so Falcons retreat. In a confusing turn of events, Fielder becomes possessed and walks towards Poker Face like a zombie. He snaps out of it and tries to escape, but falls to choice of 1, leaving Falcons staggered. Poker Face once again take a very fast and aggressive fight in this final section of the map. Simple advances early, looking to follow up on Bellisria's hit with a Discord onto Proper. Bellisria lands the slam onto Proper, and Smurf slams Simple, who uses his Transcendence to survive. Proper falls low, but Chio is able to use his torpedoes to keep him alive. Choice of 1 attempts to assist in following up, but Chio is pocketing Proper with everything he has, and Fielder uses Rally to further assist in keeping Proper alive. Choice of 1 lands a Pulse, and Proper uses the Deadeye to parry the Pulse and survive. Deadeye provides enough damage resistance to survive Pulse Bombs, so this is a legitimate strategy used by professional players to survive. Chio commits the orbital right to 100% assure Proper's survival after the Pulse Bomb, while Proper finishes Simple, who was left in an awkward aggressive position after the Transcendence. Proud falls afterwards, and so Poker Face must reset. Falcons continue to hold on, but still haven't made a meter of progress. Fielder also swaps over to Ana, so now Falcon's composition is a bit more similar to Poker Face. Rather than playing for Discord and damage output though, Falcons will play for nades off of hits. I wouldn't really call this a fight, it was more of a random pick before the fight even got started. Simple turns the corner charging a volley, throwing it directly down the coast lane, nailing Proper right in the head. Falcons weren't even fully in position to start this fight yet, so they're just forced to back away. It's too risky to try and trade this kill out. The bot turns the corner, and now Poker Face rotate their core into the Mega Room. Same idea as the earlier fights from this map. Poker Face actually have the better brawl now with Zen Brig over Ana Juno, so Mega Room is pretty easy to hold on to anyways. It's interesting to see how minor changes in backline compositions will affect how a team intends to play, and how the opposing team will respond. Another aspect of the macro in this matchup is the battle over frontline positioning. Although we haven't focused on it so far during this video, it has been occurring all throughout this match. Sometimes, rather than going for the enemy backline, the frontline can mark the opposing frontline to prevent them from getting set up for hits. In this case, Smurf is trying to get set up behind Poker Face, but Bellisria marks and Choice 1 helps out. With the assistance of Simple's Discord Orb, Smurf is forced to use his shields and disengage. This provides Poker Face with an advantage. Bellisria can go for a hit with shields, while Smurf can't respond with a hit of his own. Team Falcons are essentially stuck playing defense now. Proud advances, realizing he's in no real danger in this particular moment, with Fixa right behind him in case anything goes wrong. Team Falcons do play passive, so Poker Face get free push, but also cannot attack Falcons' backline with their advantage because they're playing so far back. Smurf regains his shields and goes for a slam, which is deflected by Fix's whip shot. Falcon's backline advances with the hit, providing Poker Face with an opportunity. Bellisria goes for a slam, and Choice 1 attempts a pulse onto Smurf, who had fallen low. The pulse misses with Smurf backing away, and although Bellisria attempts to chase Fielder and finish him off, Chio is just barely able to keep him alive. Here, if Choice 1 had advanced with Bellisria, it is likely they would have been able to get the kill, so it was a bit of a mistake from Poker Face. Like I mentioned before, Ana Juno can't sustain through much since Juno lacks peel potential, so the Ana is free game when up against a ball and tracer in most instances. Falcons take another turn, this time running down Proud, who had isolated himself from his core on accident. Although Smurf was already very low, he was able to escape while Stalker finished the kill, allowing Falcons to gain the advantage in this fight. Simple and Fixa retreat to the Mega Room, and they understand they need to bide time until Proud can return. Smurf goes for a hit, and it's deflected. Stalker attempts a pulse, and it misses. Poker Face continued to hold on. Proud returns at this moment, so now the core can begin to move. When they advance to the Mega Room, Smurf slams and attempts to punish the rotation. This hit was ineffective though. Chio then throws down the Juno ult, just looking to keep the pressure on Poker Face's core. Here, Simple and Fixa use Trance and Rally respectively, which was a little overkill. You usually want to avoid using both of those ultimates at once, since they do the same thing. It should have only been the Transcendence in this scenario. Even if these ultimates were inefficient, they still keep the core alive and do their job, and so Proud advances with confidence, pulling the Deadeye to finish proper and landing a headshot onto Fielder off of Bellisria's slam. This was excellent timing from the front lane of Poker Face as well, who were able to time their final hit here alongside the advance from Proud. Poker Face cleaned things up, and now Falcons are still left with 0 meters on the board with 3 minutes remaining on the clock. Choi-Se-Won advances into Falcon's backline, attempting a stagger kill onto Fielder, who has swapped over to Zen to match Zen Brig. Stalker responds to defend and manages to take him out with a quick melee, leaving Poker Face with only half a frontline. Poker Face switched to defensive mode, positioning their core on the coast, and from this position they are prepared to kite even further if necessary. Smurf opens the fight with a slam onto Simple, which will allow Falcon's core to advance. Proud and Simple play separate angles, forcing Falcons to decide between one or the other, a similar approach to what we saw before. Falcons focus on Simple, with Fielder able to finish the kill. Poker Face are in a position to trade though, with Bellisria landing a great slam onto Falcon's backline, allowing Proud to trade with a kill on Fielder. Now, Proud and Fixa need to focus on survival until Bellisria can hit again. Fixa nearly escapes, but Stalker hunts him down and removes him, reinstating Falcon's advantage. This doesn't last for long though, as Smurf flings himself up into the air and accidentally leaves himself within the LOS of Proud, who just shoots him out of the sky from the mini-room. Chio rallied here as well, and the only possible explanation was a desperate attempt to keep Smurf alive. Falcons couldn't afford to lose Smurf here, because now they need to back up and give bot again, and they no longer can make any effective progress off of this fight. Bellisria realizes he has an opportunity here as well. Fielder had died first and wouldn't have any assistance for a short period of time, so Bellisria rolls back to Falcon's spawn and quickly eliminates Fielder. This spawn camp makes things so much worse for Falcons, who have now fully retreated and must wait for Fielder to return. This provides Poker Face with a significant amount of bot push. Falcons set up with a split. Fielder alone on a far angle, while Proper and Chio play together on the closer corner. Simple and Fixa have claimed the Mega Room as they always do for fights that are played around this corner. Simple spots the positioning of Fielder and realizes it is an easy punish. A quick discord alongside follow-up from Bellisria, and now Fielder is almost instantly forced to use Transcendence. Simple was also forced to use his Transcendence due to Smurf's Minefield, but that is a more valuable 1-to-1 ult trade in comparison to Fielder's Trance. Stalker moves the bot, and this forces Poker Face's core to reposition. Falcons also shift their core towards the coast, so now they have the advantageous positioning. It is really interesting how bot control matters such a significant amount. Moving it even slightly changes where the advantageous positions are on the map. Rather than fighting on the low ground, Poker Face rotate towards the high ground, surviving a hit from Smurf. Matching the positioning on coast allows Poker Face to take a fair fight. While this is all going down, Proud does something a little unhinged, wrapping the whole way around to the opposite end of the coastal lane, looking to flank Falcon's backline. This move was expected, and Chio did respond, attempting to mark, but Bellisria rolled in at the right moment from behind and allowed Proud to get the headshot. Smurf rolls in to assist and eliminate Proud, but this trade benefits Poker Face. Cast for Brig is a great trade. Now that Brig is gone for Team Falcons, all Poker Face need to do is survive with their own rally and buy time for the front line to wipe through the rest of Falcons' core. This map is over for Falcons.
이거 앞으로 나가서 이제 레킹볼 밀어낼 거거든요. 또 이걸 잡아먹네요. 근데 붙어야 돼요. 터치는 됐는데 문제는 밸런스에 지뢰만 있어요. 오지 말라고 뿌려볼 수 있는 거거든요. 그 와중에 지뢰만 로봇에 깔아버리면 네. 이거 터치 하나 가는 구도예요. 자, 근데 공수만 모아야 돼요. 치오도 아직 집결 없고요. 스마프는 지뢰만 완성시켜야죠, 얼른. 그래서 프로퍼가 소감으로 어느 정도 자리를 밀어냈는데 문제는 화물, 로봇 벌써 없고 그래도 집결 채워냈어요. 스머프도 지뢰반 왔고요. 자, 팔콘은 여기서 계속 이어가야 됩니다. 이거 집결한 게 좀 쉽게 빠지긴 했거든요. 집결 올라갔고 치오. 뒷라인을 지키면서 앞으로 당겨야 되는 팔콘이에요. 맞습니다. 앞으로 안 당기면 스머프가 말라 죽거든요. 자, 가고 있어요. 로봇 좀 일단 계속 체크하고 있는 상태고 파이드웨버. 다시 빠져나온 스머프. 위쪽에서 시위하고 있어요. 포커페이스. 근데 뒷라인이 해킹 포커스! 뒷라인이 무너집니다. 이러면 지뢰반까지 들어도 심플 추월로 그냥 지뢰 제거만 출동 안 해도 출동! 자, 폭탄 제거! 끝났어요. 상황이죠. 1대 동점 포커 페이스.
Falcons put up a good fight at the end, and they did their best to turn that fight around, but it was already a losing battle. Poker Face took this map away in impressive fashion, but this would be the only map Poker Face won, with Falcons having won the series 3-1. Poker Face are known for their ball compositions and have really reintroduced the Briggs-Zen backline into professional play. This was a composition that was widely used near the end of Overwatch 1, and I have plenty of experience working with it myself. Nowadays, there isn't a second tank, and the composition does play a little differently, but the fundamentals are still the same. As a very quick and broad review of the concepts we covered today, the Zen Brig ball composition plays primarily around the line of sight, or LOS, of the Zenyatta, because Discord Orb is a key utility during hits. This requires coordination between the frontline and the core, who act independently. As the frontline, you can't just go for haphazard hits, you must be on the same page as the core. As the core, you are responsible for communicating your rotations to the frontline and setting up to follow up. If you plan on trying this composition, or if you happen to run it, remember that the quality of hits matter over quantity. You saw firsthand that poorly timed hits don't get anything done. You can hit more times than your opponent and get absolutely no value. If the core isn't set up to follow up, then as the frontline, either spend more time setting up yourself and just be patient, or spend time marking the opposing frontline to buy your core a bit more time to rotate. It's way better to take your time and focus on quality rather than rush things and try to do too much. That's it for today's breakdown. I definitely kept things very basic when breaking down the ball composition today because it is very different from what you might be used to seeing. Hopefully this helps if you're new to the Zen Brig backline. Plenty of Overwatch 2 players who never played Overwatch 1 have never seen it in action at the organized level of play, so I wanted to introduce it in an easy-to-digest format. You can get updates and schedules in the Discord, and if you want more content, check out my second channel, OC0, as well. Trust me, it's pretty cool, it's pretty awesome, so please subscribe, it's cool. I will be working on getting these main channel videos out as always, and thank you for watching.